So like I said, I'm focusing on the sine rule now, after which we'll do the cosine rule. If I have an oblique triangle, oblique there simply means none of the angle is a what? Right angle. And I have here as A, I have here as B, I have here as what? C. This is given. And I want to prove that this C, the side facing capital letter A, small letter A, the side facing C, small letter C, and the side facing B, small letter what? B. Why capital A, B, C are the angles, small letter A, B, C are the what? Sides. Now, how can I prove that this expression can be, all these angles and sides are related by A all over sine capital letter A equals to B all over sine capital letter word B equal to small letter C all over sine capital letter word C. Now, this is a triangle again. I want to prove it. Please, let me put my proof here. Now, we're given this. If I take this as my A, this is my B, this is my C, which was given. And here to here, I want to take it as my small letter words A. This is my small c, and this is my B. If I draw a perpendicular here, that simply means I can take it as what? Capital D. And if I take it as D, you see that AD is simply my what? Height. Distance AD is my what? Height. Now, since I use a perpendicular here, I'll focus on A, C, and angle what? B. Now from this, I will have from triangle ABD, this half triangle, this other side rather, not half. Because the only way to be half is likely when these three angles are equal, or these two angles are equal. So if I have triangle ABC, ABD, from triangle ABD rather, I will have C, H, and what? BD. And this capital letter what? A. This is my angle like it is there. Now sine B. Sine B, so here must be my opposite, remember. If I'm talking about sine B, or I can't use A has been cut. So sine B, for sine B, I'll have here as opposites. This is my hypotenuse curve, this is a right angle. Since this is a perpendicular, this will give you a right angle and a right angle. So this is like a right angle. This other side is also a right angle. So sine B will be equals to what? Opposite over what? Hypotenuse. And my opposite here, this is my adjacent. And my opposite here happens to be what? AD. And my hypotenuse happens to be what? AB. And my AD here happens to be what? H. And my AB happens to be what? C, which is my hypotenuse. So I have sine capital letter B to be small h all over small what? C. Remember, this is the side, so it's small c. This becomes equation what? 1. And using this other side of the triangle, which is from triangle ADC, I have this. This is D, this capital C, this capital A, this small letter B, and this small letter H. I will have, let me use here, I will have sine of angle C, which is capital C, so be what? Opposite again. Opposite, this sign is what? This is my opposite. Or this is where the angle is facing. This is my hypotenuse. And this becomes my what? Adjacent. This is where the right angle is facing, remember. So sine C, my opposite simply is what? H. And my what? Hypotenuse is what? B. And if I cross multiply, I will have H to be equals to what? B sine what? Capital letter what? C. This is called my equation what? 2. Let me do here further, please. Is over C. So from here, I'll have H to be equals to C sine capital letter what? B to be equal to my equation what? 1. So from equation 1 and 2, you can see that this H, this H. So therefore, I can simply equate H. If I equate H, which is equating 1 and 2, since H are what? Equal, I will have what? This is equation 2. Let me say 2 and 1. Equation 2 and 1. I will have what? B sine capital C to be equals to what? Small letter C sine capital letter what? B. Now I have B here, I have C here. If I divide through by small letter BC, I will have B to cancel B, C to cancel C, and I have sine capital letter C all over small c to be equal to sine capital letter what? B all over small what? B. If I take the reciprocal, I'll simply have C over sine capital letter C. If I interchange here, I must interchange here. B all over sine capital letter what? B. So this is same as saying B over sine capital letter B first equals to what? C all over sine capital letter what? C. So I can take this as equation what? Equation X. Now, using this same triangle again, using this same triangle again, I will simply what? Which is this? Let me make this bigger. I can simply, if I bisect this angle, it means the two angles will be equal and the line formed with what? A perpendicular line. So this will be 90 degree, this will be 90 degree. And here remain my capital C. From here to here now remain my what? My small letter C. This remain my capital B, so here become my small what? B. And here remain my capital A, and here become my small a. But where this point divide these two becomes what? I will take it as D again, like I did earlier. Now, if you watch, this is a right angle. So I'll say from triangle BCD, I have this triangle there. This is a right angle, D, B, and what? C. Now, since I bisected C, I won't be using C. I will use what? B. Remember. Now, this become my what? Opposites. Where my right angle is facing is what? My hypotenuse. And this become my what? Adjacent. Now, I'm using sine, remember. So I'll have sine B. I'm not using C because I bisected it to go form a perpendicular line. Now, sine B will be equals to what? Sine is remain opposite over what? Hypotenuse. And my opposite here, this become my height. My opposite become my what? Height, H. And my hypotenuse was labeled as what? Small letter what? A. Remember, D doesn't have an exact value. Now, sine B will be what? Opposite of hypotenuse. And my opposite here happens to be H. And my what? Opposite happens to be H. And my hypotenuse happens to be what? A. So, if I cross multiply, I'll have H. In terms of H, I'll have H to be equals to A sine what? B. This becomes equation what? 3. If I do same, using the top triangle, I will have, this is my A, my angle, this is my D, this is a right angle, remember, and this is my what? C. So I have my H here, I have my small b here. I have my AD here. And here's my opposite. My hypotenuse this time will be what? This. Because this is where the right angle is facing. You can see it there. And this is my angle A. Become my what? Opposite. And this become my what? Adjacent. So my sine of A, remember I told you I can't use C because I take my perpendicular from what? From what? C. So sine A will be equals to what? My opposite is what? Where's my opposite? My opposite is what? H. And my hypotenuse is what? B. I'll therefore have H to be equals to what? B sine what? Capital letter A as my equation what? 2. And is this needed again? This is no longer needed. So if I equate my, this becomes 4 rather. If I equate 3 and 4 since H are equal, or simply have 3 and 4 since H are both what? Equal, I will have A or have B over sine A, equation 3. Okay, equation 4. To be equal to what? That of equation 3. A all over sine what? A. Rather, I will have B sine A to be equal to what? A sine what? B, since H are equal. Equating 3 and what? 4. So you can see that I have B, I have A here. I'll divide through by what? AB. Small letters, remember. B we cancel B, A we cancel A. And I'll have sine A over what? A, small letter A, equals to sine B all over small letter what? B. Where small letter A and B are the what? Sides, remember. So I can therefore clean this because it's no longer needed. And you can see that if I what? Take the reciprocal, I'll have A all over sine capital letter A to be equals to B all over sine capital letter what? B. Now, I will take this as my what? X. You can simply see that if I compare my equation X and equation, okay, this is X, so this will be Y. If I compare my equation X with equation Y, for my X, I have B over sine B equals C over sine C. And for my Y, I have A over sine A equal B over sine B. So if I have A over sine A equal B over sine B, and I have B over sine B equals C. If B over sine B equals C over sine B, that simply means A also will be equals to what? A over sine A also will be equals to C over sine C. So I'll therefore have equals to what? C all over sine capital letter C. And these have been what? Fully proved, like we have here. So I'll be giving examples of questions relating to sine rule, and we'll see how we can solve it. And after that, I'll prove cosine rule. Then we'll solve questions on sine, on cosine rule. Then we also focus on questions that have to do with the combination of sine and cosine rule before we enter bearing in full. Thank you. So we have a question on the board. We have in triangle ABC, A, capital A is 29 degree, mean angle A is 29 degree. B is, capital B is 36 degree. Small letter B is 15.8 centimeter. They say we should find A. Solution. But before I start, I want to give some informations on how to solve a triangle using what? Sine rule. The first thing I want to say, let's assume this is a triangle. This, let me even use x, y, z. This x, y, and this z. This small letter x, this small letter y, and this small letter z. If, for instance, this is 120 degree, and this is 30 degree, no, let me say 40 degree, and this 20 degree. Or let me leave this first. The criteria, the information I want to tell you are the things you need to know when solving using what? The sine rule. The first thing you have to do is that if I have to solve this triangle, let me say here is 12 meters. If this is 12 meters, I must know that x must be greater than what? 12 meters. Why? First, I can get my angle z, and angle z can be solved by saying sum of angle in a triangle, which is 120 degree plus 40 degree plus z will give me what? Will be equal to 180 degree. So my z certainly will be what? 20 what? Degree. So therefore, if z is 20 degree and the side of z is 12 meter, then my x must be greater than 12 meter. Why? You can see that this is the biggest angle among the three angles. So it must be the biggest side. And this 40 is greater than 20. So if my side z, small letter z, is 12 centimeter and is 20 degree, and this is 40 degree greater than this, then my what? My y must be greater than what? 12 what? Meter also. Why? Because 40 degrees is greater than 20 degree. That's the first information. So the biggest angle among the three angles will have the biggest side, and the smallest angle will have the smallest what? Side. That's one. Secondly, if I want to solve, and it's possible for me to solve for y and z at the same time, the side or the angle. If I'm to solve for the angles at the same time, maybe I don't know this and I don't know this, and I know that this is greater than 12 already, I can see the question given is greater than 12. I must solve for the smaller angle first. If this is 20, I must solve for this side first. Why? Because I'm trying to avoid what I call ambiguity. It's possible for this angle to be two different angles. So therefore, I must solve for this smaller angle before I think of getting this angle, using sum of angles in a triangle. And third, if I have this, for instance, and here is 12 meter, here happens to be 4 meter. Okay, let me use it the way it is. If this is 6 meters, and this is, let me say this is 1 meter, or even 2 meter, and this 3 meters. This 2 meters, and this what? 3 meters, which is good to go. Why? This is greater than this. This is the biggest angle, so it's the biggest side. And this 40 follows before the least, which is what? 20. Fine, it's a perfect angle. But an angle of this kind cannot exist. Why can it not exist? Because using the triangle inequality theorem, we must have that the sum of two sides must be greater than the third third what? Side. The sum of any two sides must be greater than the third side. Check. 2 plus 6 is greater than 3. Good. 3 plus 6, or let me say 6 plus 3. 6 plus 3 is greater than what? 2. Good also. But you see that 2 plus 3 is not greater, rather is less than the 6 here. So since the sum of these two is less than this is not what? A true triangle. So what am I trying to say? If you solve your triangle, compare, check if the sum of any two sides is greater than the third. If the sum of any two sides is less than the third, you know that is not what? A true triangle, and that triangle does not what? Exist. Third, sine is positive in both the first and what? Second what? Quadrant. Sine is positive in both the first and second quadrant. So sometimes when we solve for an angle that has to do with sine, since we are working with sine rule, we should compare using some criteria if the angle is accepted to be less than 90 or greater than 90. Meaning if it is what? An acute angle or a what? Or an obtuse what? Angle. It will either be acute or what? Obtuse, rather. Obtuse what? Angle. Acute are angles that are less than 90. Obtuse are angles that are what? Greater than what? Greater than what? 90. So let's try to solve this question. So we have triangle ABC, and we have 29 and 35 for A and B. So let me assume I have this. And let me say this is my A, this is my B, and this is my C. Now watch how I want to draw my triangle. We already see that the biggest side will be C. Why? This is acute, and if they add up, it's not up to 70. So if you watch with your eye, this is the biggest. So I'll take it as my word C, because I already see that angle C must be the biggest. And I will have here as, let me reduce this a little. And I'll have here as what? B. And this can be what? C. You can see that our angle B, in terms of using your eyes, you see that it's bigger than C. So angle B was given as what? 36 what? Degree. And angle what? Angle A is what? 29 what? Degree. And we have our third side, our third angle is unknown. And we know that if this is B, this will be our small b, this will be our small c, and this will be my small what? A. And they have their what? Values. Now my B was given as what? 15.8 centimeter, and I'm looking for what? A. So I've defined everything I ought to define. So I simply have my sine rule, which is A, all over sine capital letter what? A, to be equals to what? B, all over sine capital letter what? B. Now my A is my question. My angle A is known. My angle A is known. My small letter B is known, which is side AC. Side capital letter AC is B, is known. And my angle B is also known. So I'll simply add my A all over sine, the value of A, 29 degree, to be equals to my B. Here's my B, 15.8 what? Centimeter. Let me leave it. My A will also be in centimeter. All over sine, the value of B, which is what? 36 what? Degree. Now all I have to do here is to cross multiply. If I cross multiply, I'll simply have A sine 36 degree to be equals to 15.8 sine what? 29 what? Degree. And I'll have A to be equals to 15.8 sine 29 what? Degree, all over sine what? 36 what? Degree. And my A will be equals to 15.8 times all over. Now at this point, you can choose to use either your calculator or your four-figure table. It's a matter of choice, because why provide calculator? So I have sine 29 degree to give me 0.4848 to 4 decimal places, please. And I have my sine 36 degree to give me 0.5878 to 4 decimal places also. And A will be equals to 15.8 times 0.4848, which equals this, and divided by 0.5878, which gives me this. So my answer for A is 13.03 watts, which units? Centimeter. Now, like I told you, you can see that my A is smaller than my value for B, which I told you earlier. My A is 13.05. So since angle B is greater than angle A, side B will also be greater than side what? A. Hence, our answer is correct. So this is my answer for this. So again, we have another question on the board, still on sine rule. We have in triangle PQRO, angle P is 83 degree, side P is 285 meter, and side RO is 216 centimeter. So we should calculate what? Arrow. But before we start, if this is 83 what? Degree, we should know that sum of angle Q and angle arrow will be 180 minus what? 83 what? Degree, which gives me what? 97 what? Degree. Now, let's see. Let's say we have this as P. (83 degree), and the side facing it is small letter p, which is what? 285 meters. Now, what else is given? Arrow was given, so let me say this arrow, and this is what? Q. Small letter arrow was given as what? 216 meter. And we are looking for capital letter arrow. So arrow is our question. Remember, the sine rule is used for angles, for a triangle which none of the angles is 90 degree. And also for it, we need two angles and any side. And also we can also get two sides and one of the angles fixing any of the two sides given. Now if you watch, I have two sides and I have an angle facing this. So you see it can be solved using what? Sine rule. Now, let me write my relationship. How do I write my relationship? Because this now is not given in terms of A, B, and C. But this is my small letter P, small letter Q, and small letter what? Arrow. So I will have, since I'm looking for arrow, I can start for arrow with arrow. Small letter arrow over sine capital letter arrow will be equal to small letter Q all over sine capital letter what? Q will be equal to small letter what? Let me put P first because I know P. Or let me just continue. Arrow over sine capital letter arrow equals to small letter Q all over sine capital letter Q equals to small letter P all over sine capital letter what? P. Now, I'll put all my informations that are given. My arrow is what? 216 given. My capital letter arrow is what I'm looking for, so I simply have some capital letter arrow equals to, my Q is what? My Q is not known. My angle Q is equally not what? Known. My P is what? 285. And my angle P was given as what? 83 what? Degree. Now you see, none of these two sides is known. My Q is not known, my angle Q is not known. There's no way I can know my capital Q without knowing my arrow. Remember. So since I can't know two unknown at the same time with this, combining this with any of these other two fractions, I will solve straight using this and this. I will equate them together. And I'll have 216 over sine capital letter arrow to be equals to 285 all over sine 83 what? Degree. If I cross multiply, I will have 285 sine arrow to be equals to 216 sine what? 83 what? Degree. And if I divide through by 285, I will have sine arrow to be equals to 216 times sine 38, sine 83 rather, sine 83 equals 0.9925 all over 285. So I have sine arrow to be equals to 216 times 0.9925 equal divided by 285. And take note, whenever you are using the sine rule, before you get your sine arrow, the value here must be less than 1. If it's equal to 1, such an expression can never what? Exist. Take note. So, or therefore have arrow to be equals to sine inverse, some call it arc function, of 0.7522. And arrow will be equals to, you simply press shift sign before you press this value, and that will give me 48.78 degree to 2 decimal places. And this is my answer. I don't need to check for anything because I'm only looking for arrow. Because if I can get my arrow and Q at the same time, and I see that my side Q is smaller than side arrow, then I must solve for Q first to avoid ambiguity if there's any. But since I can't get Q and arrow at the same time using my sine rule, then I must get my arrow directly. And from this, if you are asked to solve for Q and a capital letter Q, which is angle Q and side Q, you can do that because now your arrow has been known. You simply use 180 minus 83 minus your value of arrow, which is 48.78 degree. You get your Q. If you get your Q, you can therefore get your small letter q using any of these two other fraction. So this is the answer to this question. Thank you. So we have in triangle ABC, capital A is equal to 115 degree, which is angle. Small a is 65 meter. B is 32 meter. That's how we should solve the triangle completely. Now, what does it mean for us to solve a triangle completely? What it simply means is that we should look for the unknown angles and the unknown sides. Like you can see here, since we have triangle ABC, we have angle A, angle B, angle C, and small side A, side B, side A, and side C. Now we are given angle A, side A, and side B. So we need to know side C, angle B, and angle C. If we can get small letter C, angle B, and angle C, that simply means we'll solve this triangle completely. So let's start. Now, my calculator. Now, having this, first, the angle given is greater than 90 degrees. That simply means the angle is the triangle is an obtuse triangle, because one of the angles is greater than 90 degrees. Now, the other two angles become 180 minus 115 degree. Take note, which will give me 65 degrees. That's to say, B, remember, A plus B plus C must be equal to 180 degrees in a triangle. Now B is 115 degrees. A rather is 115 degrees plus angle B plus angle C will equal to 180 degrees. And I'll have angle B plus angle C to be equal to 180 degree minus 115 degree. And B plus C will be equal to 65 degree. Take note of this. The two values we are going to get for B and C must be equal to 65 degree. That's one. Another information I want to give you is this. If my B is to 2 decimal places, my C must be to 2 decimal places. Not I'll have B to 1 decimal place and C to 2 decimal. The two must be accordingly. If this is to 3 significant figure, then this should be to 3 significant figure. Please take note. Now, let me say this is my triangle. This is my 115 degree, my A. this can be B, this can be C. Now, where's my B? My B is here. B equals to what? 32 what? Meter. And B is 32 meter, yes. And my A is what? 65 what? Meter. Do I know any other side? No. My C is equally what? Question. This is a question and this is a question. That I've already given an idea that B plus C must be what? 65 degrees to make this sum of angle in the triangle 180 what? Degree. Now, I have this can be written as A. So I'll have A, small letter A over sine capital letter A to be equal to small letter B all over sine capital letter B equals to small letter C over sine capital letter what? C. Since this side, I'm looking for what? I'm looking for C. This and this. But you can see that my A is what? 65. My angle A is what? 115 degree. My B is what? 32. Angle B, I'm looking for it. My C, side C, I'm looking for it. My angle C, I'm equally what? Looking for it. So if I'm looking for two things in a fraction at the same time, I'll neglect it. So it's better I focus on this. So I have what? 65 sine B using this will be equals to 32 sine 115 what? Degree. I'll divide through by what? 65. And I'll have sine B to be equals to 32 times sine 115. Sine 115 equal 0.9063 all over 65. And I'll have my sine B to be equals to the value gotten times what? 32. Giving me this divide by what? 65. Remember our value must be less than 1. So I have 0.4462. And I'll have B to be equals to the arc function of my sine, since it's coming to the other side. 0.4462. And B will be equals to shift sine my value, which will give me 26.4 to 2 decimal points. 499 is still 8 closer to 9 is greater than what? 4. So it becomes 5 what? 0 to 2 decimal what points. So my angle B is equals to, please put a cap at the top to show that it's an angle. Is 26.50 what? Degree. Now, you see that if B is less than this, is very good because one of them is already obtuse. You can't have two obtuse angles in a triangle because obtuse angle are angle greater than 90 degrees. And if I have 91 degree as one, and finally I have also another 91 degree, that will give me 180 what? 2, which is greater than 180 degree for sum of angle in a triangle for two angles only. So since A is 115, the other two angles must be what? Obtuse. After all, you can see that B plus C is still less than 90. So is what? Acute. So B equal this is absolutely what? Correct. Because sine is also positive in the second what? Quadrant. And somebody else can simply say 180 minus what? The value of 26 to give me 153.5 degree. Or angle B is equal to 153.5 degree. Is equally correct. But as long as this is already obtuse, you can't have an obtuse angle. So this is wrong and this is correct. Take note of the what? System of what? Approach, please. Now, I can get my C easily. I don't need to use this to get my C. After all, I can't. I can't combine the first and the third here to get my what? C. Why? I'm still looking for small letter c. So I must get my angle C first. But remember, I told you sum of angle in a triangle is what? 180 degree. And we've already seen that B plus C is 180. So I have B plus C, angle B plus angle C equals to 65 degree, and my B is 26.50 degree. 26.50 what? Degree plus angle C equals to what? 65 degree. So my angle C is equals to 65 degree minus 26.50 what degree. Remember 26.50 is what? 26.5. But I just want to put it for your own understanding. So angle C will be equals to 65 minus 26.50, giving me what? 38.5 degree, which is written as 38.50 what? Degree. So this is my angle C. So I can therefore get my small letter what? C, which is side C. So we have this. So I've gotten my angle C, so I can get my small letter C now. And I'll prefer you use the actual values given. Why are you to use the actual values? If you use that of B and your value of B is wrong, know that your value of C will be wrong. Do I make myself clear? If your value of B solved here is wrong, your angle C will be wrong. Because getting your C here, C is what? A what? What C? C is a dependent variable, while B here, which you've gotten already, is an independent variable. So if the independent variable is wrong, the dependent variable, which is C in this case, will also be what? Wrong. So I have my C, small letter C, all over sine capital letter C to be equals to 65 degree, all over sine what? 115 what? Degree. My C, I have my small letter C. So I have my sine what? 38.5 what degree, which is same as 38.50 degree, equals to what? Here is my, this is 65, not degree, is a unit, which is, and the unit is, so we have C all over sine 38.5 will be equals to what? 65 all over what? Sine 115 what? Degree. So we have C, if I make C sort of formula, I'll have 65 sine 38.5 degree all over sine 115 what? Degree. And I'll have C, remember this C is small letter, which is what? Distance, to be equal to 65 sine 38.5 divided by sine 115, which gives me C to be equal to 44.65 to what? 2 decimal what? Places. So I'm done with the solving. So my C now is 44.65 what? Meter. My angle B is what? 26.5 degree. My angle C is 38.5 what? Degree. Now if you check, 115 plus 26.5 plus 38.5 sum up to give 180 degree, which is sum of interior angles in a triangle. And also, if you check, like I told you, the sum of these two sides, which is using the, what's it called? Triangle inequality what? Theorem. 44.65 plus 60 is greater than what? 32. And 44.65 plus 32 is greater than what? 65. And 65 plus 32 is greater than what? 44.65. So this our triangle is absolutely what? Correct. Thank you. So we have in triangle ABC, angle A is 38 degree, this is 18 minutes, 38 degree, 18 minutes. Small letter A is 252 meter, B is 198 meter. So we should solve the triangle completely. First, if you watch, you can see that side B is less compared to side A. So A is great, side A is longer than side B, meaning my angle B must be smaller than this. So therefore, our angle C will be greater than what? Will be an obtuse triangle. Let me use the word. Why? Angle A is 38 degrees, 18 minutes. And small letter A corresponding to angle A is 252 meter. And our B is 198 meters. So small letter A is greater than what? Small letter B, which is the side. Side A is greater than side B. So therefore, angle A also must be greater than angle B. And if A is 38 degrees, let me neglect a minute, and B is lesser than A, meaning at most it will be 38 plus 38, giving me what? 76 degrees. So B, if it's 70 something, then this will be about its capital letter C will be 120 something. So take note. Let's solve it, because you have to understand a question before what? Solving. And talking about this degree and minutes, you can solve it using your calculator that way, because close to where you see I, there is a dot and you see 3 commas and you see B on top. If you want to write degree minute, you simply write 38, you press that value, you see your degree, you write your 18, you press it again. So you have 38 degree, 18 minutes, you press equal to, you see your value, that's the same as 38 degree, 18 what? Minutes, 0 what? Seconds. This second was not put here. So now let's solve it, and you can decide to convert your value from degree minutes to what? Just degree. If A is equals to 38 degree, 18 minutes, and let's assume you don't have a calculator of this kind, though you still have it in your small wire calculator, you can simply say 38 degree plus converting this to degree as well, you have what? 18 all over what? 60 what? Minutes, and this become degree. So you have 38 degree plus 18 divided by 60. This will give me 0.3. And if I had plus 38, or have 38.3 what? Degree as the equivalent of what? This. Now, but mind you, since this was given in degree minutes, in exam, you are expected to work with your degree what? Minutes. Now, solving my triangle. I have my A, and A is 38 degree, 18 what? Minutes. My small letter A is equal to 252 what? Meter. Let me say here is B, and here is what? Let me say here is B, and here is C. Am I giving, my side B was given, my B is equals to 198 what? Meter. Is my C given? C is not given, so C is question. B and C are not also given, so this become question, this become question. Now, let me write my formula or my principle. Sine A over capital A equal B all over sine capital B equals C all over sine capital letter what? C. And I'll put my informations given. Small letter A was given is 252. Angle A was given is 38 degree, 18 what? Minutes. My B was also given. What was my B? My small letter B is 198 meters. My sine B, my B, angle B is not known. My C, side C is not given, and side C is equal, angle C is not also what? Known. So I can use this and this to get my angle B. Simply, if I'm using these two, I will have 252 all over sine 38 degree, 18 minutes equals to 198 all over sine what? B. If I cross multiply to make sine B set of formula, I have sine B equals to 198 sine 38 degree, 18 what? Minutes all over what? All over 252. So I have my sine B, which must be equal to a value less than 1, will give me 198 sine 38 degree, 18 minutes equal 122.716. So I'll divide by 252 and I'll have 0.48. So I have 486, which is 7 what? 0. And my B will be equals to sine inverse or arc function 0.487 and my B will be equals to shift sign answer, which gives this. It will give you 29.14, but when you press your angles to get it in degree and minutes, you have what? 29 degree 8 minutes. You end there because the value was given in degree and minutes. No need of adding your words second. So you have 29 degree 8 minutes for my words, my B. So what else am I looking for? I've gotten my B, so I can easily get my words C using sum of angles in a triangle. So I want to get my C. So my angle A plus angle B plus angle C is equals to 180 what? Degree. Now I've gotten my B, I need my C. My A is 38 degree 18 minutes and my B is what? 29 degree 8 minutes and my C is what I'm looking for, equals to 180 what? Degree. So my angle C will be equals to 180 degree minus 38 degree 18 minutes minus what? 29 degree 8 what? Minutes. And my angle C will be equals to 180 degree minus 38 degree 18 minutes minus 29 degree 8 minutes. And that will give me 112 degree 34 watts minutes. You can see if you are doing it yourself, you see that you have 0 watts seconds because the last digit that have 2 lines this way is what? Seconds. This is pronounced as what? Seconds. Take notes. So we're given in degree minutes, so we end in degree what? Minutes. And now, where's our B? Our B is this. We've already gotten it, so I can put it here. 29.8 degree. And my C, which we just got, is 112 degree. No, this is 29 degree 8 minutes. And this is 120 degree 34 watts minutes. Now, what is left? My side C. How do I get C? I have my C all over sine capital C to be equals to what? Which am I using? Equal 225 for A, which is 225 all over sine 38.18 watts, 38 degree 18 watts minutes. So what am I looking? I've gotten my C already. Here's my C. I can simply replace my C with what I have here, which is 112 degree 34 watts minutes. If I make C sort of formula, I'll have 225 sine 112 degree 34 minutes, all divided by sine 38 degree 18 watts minutes. And if I get my value, I have sine of this value, sine of this times. So if we check, this should be 252, not 225, 252. So this 252. So we have 252 sine 112 degree 34 minutes equal this, and divide by sine 38 degree 18 minutes, and that gives me 375.46 which units meter. So our C here is 375.46 watts meter. So you can see all the informations in this diagram. Now the biggest angle happens to be C, which is 112 degree 34 watts minutes, and it corresponds to the longest side, which is 375.46 watt meter. Also the next is our angle A, which is 38 degree 18 minutes, and it has 252 meter, which is greater than angle B. Since angle A is greater than angle B, which is 29 degree, 8 minutes. So, and if we add all our angles together, which is 38 degree, 18 minutes, plus 112 degree, 34 minutes, plus 29 degree, 8 minutes. That will give us exactly 180 degree, 0 minutes, and 0 seconds. So this question is absolutely what? Correct. So we have calculate the values of angles A and C of triangle ABC, where B is 14.35 cm, A is 7.82 cm, and angle B is 115.6 degree. Now, you can see that this is what? Obtuse. So therefore, A and C will be equal to what? Acute what? Angles. Now, to know what A and B will share, I can simply say A plus B plus C will be equals to what? 180 what? Degree. And our B was given. So A plus C, angle A plus angle C will be equals to 180 degree minus angle what? B, which will be equals to 180 degree minus 115.6 what? Degree. 180 minus 115. 115.6 will give me 64.4 what? Degree. Now, angle A plus C will give me 64.4 what? Degree. And let's draw our diagram. Our angle B is the biggest what? Angle, because it's already greater than what? 90. As long as it's greater than 90, you must know that it's the biggest what? Angle. Now, we have B here, 115.6 what? Degree. Is small letter B given? Yes. This small letter B, remember, 14.35 what? cm. I can take this as my A and this as my what? B. Now, small letter A is this side and is equals to what? 7.82 what? cm. Small letter B, small letter B becomes C. I've put my A here and my small letter C, is it given? Small letter C is not given. So these are the three informations given. Angle A, angle A and angle C are the questions we are what? Looking for. Side A was given, side B was given, and angle B was also given. Now I'll put my what? I'll put my theorem, which is what? A over sine A equals to B over sine B equals to C over sine what? C. My A is what? 7.82. My angle A is not known, so I have sine what? A equal to my B. My B is 14.35. My angle B is what? My angle B is 115.6 what? Degree. And my C is what? Not known also. And my angle C is not also what? Known. Now, since these two, the side is not known and the angle is not known, I'll focus on these two. And you can see that I can make my A set of formula here. To make my A using this, to make my A set of formula, I will simply have sine A. If I cross multiply, I'll have what? 7.82 sine 115.6 degree. And I'll have divided by what? 14.32. Or you simply say if you cross multiply, you have what? 14.3 what? 5. 14.35 sine A equals to 7.82 sine 115.8. And if I divide through by 14.35, or have sine A to be equals to this value. So I can simply have 7.82 sine 115.6 equals this divided by 14.35 to give me a value that is less than 0.4915. and A will be equals to sine inverse of 0.4915. And if I solve, shift arc of it, we give shift sine will give me what? Of 0.4515 will give me 29.4. The question given was to one, the angle given was to 1 decimal place. So I'll do this to 1 decimal place, 0.4 what? Degree to 1 decimal what? Point. Now I've gotten my A. I can put my A here now. 29.4 degree. I leave it to 1 decimal point because the angle given was to 1 decimal point. Now I equally need to get my angle C, which was arcs. So for my angle C, to get my angle C, I don't need my small letter c because I already have 2 angles. And remember that my A plus B is 64.4. So I have A plus B equal 64.4 degree, and here's my A. My A is known as what? 29.4 degree plus my angle B equals to 64.4 what? Degree. And my B, angle B, will be equals to 64.4 degree minus 29.4 what? Degree. And my angle B will be equals to 64.4 minus 29.4, which gives me what? 35 what? Degree. So this is 35 degree. Now, I've solved for the 2 values asked for, which are this and also this. If I was asked to look for my C certainly will be greater than, my C will be greater than A, but less than what? B. My C will be greater than this side BC, which is A. There will be less than my side AC because it's less than this angle, but greater than this angle. So my C will be what? Greater than A, and my C will be less than what? My B. And this is the solution to this because I was only asked to look for my angle A and angle C. Thanks. So we have another question on the whiteboard. It says calculate the values of A, angle A and angle C in triangle ABC, given that B is equals to 17.23 centimeter, C is equals to 10.86 centimeter, and B is equals to 101 degree 15 minutes. Is a why question. So how do we see to it? Now, angle B is already given, but we know that angle A plus angle B plus angle C in any triangle, no matter the type, will be equals to what? 180 what? Degree. Now, B was given in degree minutes. I will advise you to solve yours also in degree what? Minutes. Therefore, angle A plus angle C will be equals to 180 degree minus angle what? B. And which gives me 180 degree minus the value of angle B is what? 101 degree 15 what? Minutes. So angle A plus angle C, which is sum of A and C, will be equals to 180 degree minus 101 degree 15 what? Minutes. That will give me 78 degree 45 what? Minutes. 45 minutes and 0 what? Seconds. So there's no need for me to put 0 seconds. Now, I've known that A plus C must equal 78 degree 45 minutes. So I can see that B is what? Obtuse. So the triangle is an obtuse what? Obtuse what? Triangle. Now let me draw the diagram. So we have 101 degree 15 minutes, and our side B was given as 17.23 watts cm. Can put my small b here because this angle is facing this side, so this become my side B, which equal to AC, and I have small letter c to be equals to facing this angle to be equals to what? 10.86 watts cm. And I also have my side B I've put my side B. So I have one angle and two sides. And remember, sine rule says that you can be given two sides and one of the angle will be facing one of the side given. Or you can be given two angle with the non-included angle. You can be given two sides and a side and one of the angle facing the side is the same as saying you are given two sides and one non-included angle, because the included angle here is this. So as long as for what to use sine rule, it's either this angle is given or this angle is given. But this angle is given, we can only use our words cosine rule to solve it. Take notes, please. Now, I'm looking for small letter words. A. Angle C, question. Angle A also words, question. I'll write my words, formula. I have A all over sine A to be equals to B all over sine B equals to C all over sine capital letter words C. My A is not known, it remains the same. My angle C is not also known. My angle A rather is not known, it remains the same. My side B was given as 17.23 centimeter. My angle B was given as 101 degree, 15 minutes. And my side C was given as 10.86 centimeter. And my angle C is not also what given. Now, if you watch, I have two unknown here. My side is unknown, my angle is unknown. I have two known. Side is known, angle is known. This is very good. And this, I have a known side and an unknown angle. So I must start by combining this and this. I can't solve two unknown at the same time. So I must use this two sides of the words equation. So I have 17.23 all over sine 101 degree 15 minutes to be equals to 10.86 all over sine what C. So if I want to make sine C set of formula, I have sine C to be equals to 10.85 sine 101 degree 15 minutes divided by what? 17.23. And I'll have sine C to be equals to, my value here must be less than 1. So check 10.85 sine 101 degree 15 minutes equal this and divide by 17.23 will give me 0.6176 and C will give me the words arc sine of 0.617 words 6. To get it from your calculator, you please simply press shift before sine and you press this value. And that will give me 38.14 degree. And if I press my degree, minute and second, it will convert it for me to give me 38 degree 8 minutes. I'll leave it here because that's my value for B is given in degree minutes. So I'll leave this in degree what? Minutes also. So I've gotten my what? My angle C. So I can put it here. 38 degree 8 minutes. So I can get my A easily. Since I have a relationship that angle A plus angle C is already equal to 78 degree 45 minutes. So I've gotten my C. So from here you can see that my A is equals to 78 degree 45 minutes minus what? Angle C. So my A will be equals to 78 degree 45 minutes minus the value of C, which is 38 degree 8 what minutes. And my angle A will be equals to 78 degree 45 minutes minus 38 degree 8 what minutes, giving me 40 degree 37 what minutes 0 seconds. So we have to stop here because we are focusing on what? Minutes. Now, I'll replace this with this. 40 degree, 37 watts, minutes. Now what's left is my side. Since I know my angle, I can use A over sine A equal to this. I always use the known side and known angle. I don't focus on the one I solve to get. So I have A over sine A to be equals to 17.23 all over sine 101 degree 15 watts minutes. And my A is already 40 degree 37 watts minutes. If I cross multiply to make a square of formula, I will have 17.23 sine 40 degree 37 minutes. And if I divide through by sine 101 degree 15 minutes, I'll have over sine 101 degree 15 watts minutes. And if I press this out, I have 17.23 times 40 degree 37 minutes to give me this. And if I divide by sine of 101 degree 15 minutes, (17.23) sine 40 degree 37 minutes equals this divided by sine 101 degree 15 minutes. I will have 11.44 centimeter to 2 decimal watts points. So here's my A. 11.44 watts cm. So this is a solution to the question asked. You can see that, how do I know if my answer is correct? You can see that the biggest angle have the biggest side. Is greater than 10.86 and is greater than 11.44. And the next angle, which is bigger than this, is 40 degree, 37 degree. And this side is 11. And the smallest angle corresponds to 10. So you see the bigger angles carry the bigger side. You understand? So that's correct. And remember what I told you, the sum of two sides must be greater than the other side. If you check for something to be a true triangle, A plus B is greater than C. Check. 11.44 plus 17.23 is greater than 10.86. Again, A plus C is greater than what? B. Here's my A. 11.44 is greater than 10.86. This is greater than 21, so it's more than 21, so it's greater than this. And again, I have B plus C to be greater than what? A. Here's my B. 17.23 plus this will give me 27 point something or 28, and it's greater than this. So you see, all the principles I told you earlier are correct. So another thing I want us to check is this. You can see that this was our value. This was our expression. All the information is given. Now, let me put the values gotten. My A is 11.44. So I can clean this. Remember, we are done solving. 11.44. My capital letter A, which is angle, is 40.37. 40 degree, 37 minutes. And my C is 38 degree, 8 watts minutes. If I get all this, they will be equal. Check, and it will be equal to what? 2 arrow. Where arrow is taken as the what? The second radius of the what? Triangle. Let's check. This 11.44 divided by sine 40 degree 37 watts minutes. This will give me 17.57 to 2 decimal points. And I have 17.23 divide sine 101 degree 15 minutes. It's saying 17.57. And I have this 10.86 divided by sine 38 degree 8 watts minutes. And I equally have 17.5 watts. This is 10.86 divided sine 38 degree, 8 minutes. This is 5 watts, 5, 8. So if you observe this is 5.9. But if you approximate all to 1 decimal point, this will give you what? 17.56. 17.56 and 17.5 watts, 6, which is equals to what? 2 arrow. Where arrow here is the what? Second radius. So you can see it. So you can see that with this relationship, you can get your arrow. And arrow will be what? 17.6 divided by 2, which gives you what? 8.8 for this very word question as the second radius. So that's how you solve questions relating to what? Sine rule. And let me see if I can give 1 or 2 more critical examples. Again, we have a question there. It says in triangle XYZ, sine y is equals to 2 sine x sine z. So we should find angle z if x is equals to 2y. Remember, your x and your y will become your what? Your side. Since these are the what? Angles. So let's see. Since there's no special angle, I don't think we require what? A diagram. So let's just say x over what? Sine x equal y over sine what? Y equal what? Small letter z all over sine capital letter what? Z. They said s is equals to 2y. So let me put my 2y here all over sine. Sine x was not given as a relationship here, so x remain x. My y remain y, since I've put the value of x in place of what? Since I've put 2y in place of what? X. And I have my sine. Sine y is equals to what? 2 sine x sine z. And equals to, I still have my z all over sine what? Z. Now, these two have nothing. These two have no information. Z was not given. Sine z was not given. So since I have z here and I'm looking for angle z, let me focus on these two. So I'll have, let me use the top. I'll have 2y all over sine x will be equals to y all over 2 sine x sine z. So you see, y can cancel y. And I'll have 2 all over sine x to be equals to 1 all over 2 sine x sine what? Z. Again, sine z, because this is 2 times sine s times sine z. So multiplication, cancellation can occur. Because if I have 2 equal 4xy, this is multiplication. So 2 here can give me 1, 2 here can give me 2x what? Y. So therefore, I can have this to cancel this. So I have 2 equals to 1 all over 2 sine z. And if I cross multiply, I'll have 2 brackets 2 sine z to be equals to what? 1. And this will give me 4 sine z to be equals to 1. If I divide through by 4, I will have sine what? Z to be equals to 1 divided will give me 0.25. And remember, for me to get the value of z, I must have a range of value of sine z to give me -1 to be less than or equal to sine z, which is less than or equal to 1. Meaning sine z must be greater than -1, and sine z should be less than or equal to -1 rather, and sine z must be less than or equal to 1 as well. Now if you check, sine z here is 0.25, which is greater than -1 but less than 1. So we are good to go. Take note for all scenario. That's why the value gotten when sine is attached to an angle always gives you what? A value less than what? 1, and greater than what? Greater than or equal to -1. So I will have z now to be equals to sine inverse of 0.25, and z will be equals to, let's see the value when we use our calculator. arc sine of 0.25, which is shift sine 0.25, will give me 14.4775, which is approximately equal to 14.78 what degree. And this is my what answer. So again, we have in triangle ABC, A is equals to 10 cm, B is equals to 12 cm, and angle BAC is equals to 40 degrees. We have to look for C. So let's see. Let's start by drawing the triangle. Let's assume this is a triangle. And I won't use this for this because this angle is more open. So I'll use it for my 40 degree for my words. A. Why A? When they say angle BAC is the middle angle, the middle alphabet that actually have the angle. Now, I can take this as my C and I can take this as my what? B. And I have my side B to be what? 12 cm, and my side A to be equals to what? 10 cm by E. So I'm looking for C. C equal to what? Correction. Now let me write my relationship. A all over what? Sine A is equals to B all over sine B equal to C all over sine what? C. I'll put my informations. I have my A as 10. My angle A, I have it as 40 degrees. I have my B as 12. And I have my angle B not known. And I have my C, which I'm looking for, and my angle C is not also what? Known. So I have this. Now you see, I can't get C and angle C at the same time. So I must first use this. So I must use that. So I have, if I cross multiply, I'm looking for B. I will have 10 sine B to be equals to 12 sine 40 what? Degree. And I'll have sine B to be equals to 12 sine 40 degree all over what? 10. And my sine B will be equals to 12 sine 40 divided by 10. Can divide this with this, so I have 1.2 sine 40. I have 0.7713. 0.7713, which is what? Greater than minus 1, but less than 1. So my B will be equals to what? Sine inverse of 0.7713. And B will be equals to shift sine what? Of my answer. So I have 50.47 what? Degree to 2 decimal what? Places. So I've gotten B. But if you observe, if I still say 50 degree, 50.47 degree plus my 40 degree, I will still have a value that is far less than 180 degree. Check. Angle A plus angle B is equals to what? Is equals to what? Where is it? 40 degree plus 50.47 what degree, which is equals to plus 40 will give me 90.47 what degree. So that's to say my C will be 89 point something. But I have my B as 50.47 degree. Remember, meaning C can be this, remember. C can be 90 minus this, remember. But my B now, Sine is what? Positive in the second quadrant. Let me draw your attention back. This sine, this all rather, all, and I told you can put C here and use CAST, or you can use ACT, ACT what? X, and all is positive here, and sine is positive in the second quadrant as well. So if I check, B can also be equals to what? And for my second quadrant, I have sine theta. Since I'm focusing on sine, since I'm doing sine, I'm focusing on only sine, neglecting cos and tangent. Sine is positive in the second quadrant. And for the second quadrant, I have plus sine in brackets 180 degree minus what? Theta. Because theta must be greater than 90, but less than what? 180. So you say 180 minus theta. And that will give me plus sine 180 minus, so I'll have B also to be equals to 180 degree minus what? 50.47 what? Degree. And B will be equals to 180 minus 50.47, and that will give me 129.53 what? Degree. If I add this to this, B plus A equals to what? 40 degree plus 129.53 degree. It will still give me a value less than 180 what? Degree plus 40. I still have 169.53 what? Degree. So therefore, my C is still possible to be like 10 point whatsoever what? Degree. Now, this is talking about a triangle that have a question that have more than one what? Triangle. Now, I will use this and I will equally use this. So I have A plus B, angle A plus angle B to be equals to what? 90.47 degree. I also have angle A plus angle B. B, angle A and angle B, same thing as A plus B, is equals to 169.53 what? Degree. So I'm using these two scenarios to solve. Now, remember we are looking for small side C. Now, we are looking for small letter what? C. Now, when B is equals to 50.747 degree, my angle C will be equals to 180 degree minus 90.47 degree. And my angle C will be equals to 180 minus 90.47 will give me angle C to be 89 degree 0.53, 87.93 what? Degree. Remember, what we did here was to use the value of B. To find the value of C when B is 50.47 degree and A was what? 40 degree. You can simply say A plus B plus C equals to 180 degree. And B, here's my B. B, we are using B as 15.47 degree and A as 40. You have this as your C. So this C, angle C equal 180 minus 90.47. This is simply the sum of 40 degree plus the value of B when B is 50.47 what? Degree. Take note. So we have angle C to be 49.53 degree. Now we have to use that with this to solve. So we have a small letter C all over sine capital letter what? C to be equals to the complete information given 10 over 40. 10 all over what? Sine 40 what? Degree. And my small letter C will be equals to 10 sine. Angle C here is what? 89.53 what? Degree. So I'll have divided by sine 40 what? Degree. So if I say 10 sine 89.53 will give me a value divided by sine 40. And I'll have my C to be 15.56 watts, which units? Let me assume meter. So we have this as our value when angle C is 89 watts degree. And also, when angle C also can be equal to 180 degree minus the value of A plus B here, which is 169.53 watts degree. And angle C will be equal to 180 minus 169.53, giving me 10.47 watts degree. So when angle C is this, I will solve for small letter c. Small letter c all over sine capital letter C again will be equals to 10 all over sine what? 40 watts degree. And small letter c will be equals to 10 sine, the value of c is what? 10.47 degree all over sine what? 40 watts degree. And I'll have 10 sine 10.47 divided by sine 40. So I have 2.83 watts meter. So we've gotten our second value for C. So you see that when B equal 50.47 degree, comma, C, angle C is equals to what? Angle C is equals to 89. Where is it? Angle C was 89.53 watts degree. And small letter c was equal to 15.56 watts meter. And also, when B is equals to, here's my B. When B is equals to 129.53 degree, angle C is equals to 10.47 degree, and small letter c, which is side C, is 2.83 watts meter. So these are the various values we have. Remember that side A equal to 10 and angle A equal to 40 degree is constant in this case. So you see that even when we sum the three triangles, we still have 180. And when we also sum the other three triangles here, which is 129.53 plus 10.747 plus 40 degree, we still have 180 degree. And now let's check also for the sides, because it's obvious we have two triangles. So let's check the two triangles and see if both angles truly exist. Now for the first case, we have the biggest angle as C. So my biggest angle is C. Let me take it here. This is 89.5853 degree. And angle B. Where's my angle B? This is my angle B, which is what? 50.47 watts degree. And I have my angle C to be what? That's my angle A. Okay, this is C, rather. I put my A here earlier on. So let me maintain my A, 40 degree. And my angle B, 50.47 degree. What I'm trying to do is to verify for you so you understand the topic better. Please take note. So my side C is 15.56 in this case. And remember my side A was given here as what? 10. And my B was given as what? 12. You can see it here. Now, if you watch, 12 plus 15.56 is greater than 10. Good. 12 plus 10, 20, whatsoever is greater than 15. Good. 10 plus 15.56 is greater than this. Good. So in terms of side, the triangle exists. Now let's see angles. 18.58 is the biggest angle. It's also sky the biggest side, which is what? AB. Correct. The next bigger side after angle C is angle what? B. 12 side is bigger than what? That of 40, which is 10 side. So this is good to go. And if you still sum all your angles, you have 89.53 plus 40 plus 50.47, giving me 180 degrees. So the sum of the angles are absolutely what? 180 degrees. So this angle is good to, this triangle is a perfect what? Triangle. So let's check for the other one. For the other case, remember my 40 degrees constant for all. I have my A as what? 40 degree. What's my B this time? My B this time happens to be the biggest side. I can put it here. Or if I don't want to put it here, let me redraw it. And come in this form. This is 129.53 what? Degree. And the side B is what? 12. The side does not change. Now, here's my A. Let me have here as my A. My A is what? 40. A is constant. And side A is what? 10. This is my B. And this becomes my C. My C for this side, my small letter, my C happens to be what? 2.83. So this is not well drawn. I have to enclose it a little more. So this is my angle, this is B, and this is my C, and this is my A. A is 40 degree, and B is what? 129.53 degree, and this is my last angle, which is what? 10.47 what? Degree. And this is my side C this time, which is the smallest, 2.83 what? Meter. Here's my side B. My side B remains what? 12. And my side A is what? 10. Now again you can see angle B have the biggest angle and the biggest side. Angle A follows, which have the bigger side compared to what? Side what? C, which have the smallest what? Angle. So indeed this angle also what? Exists. But let's still verify using the addition of the side. So two sides must be greater than the what? Any two sides must be greater than the third side. 12 plus 2.83 is greater than 10. Good. 12 plus 10 is greater than 2.83. And also, 10 plus 2.83 is 12.83, which is greater than 12. So this triangle also what? Exists. So the question has to do with a triangle that have two different what? Options. So two triangles exist in that question, and these are our values for C. So C is equals to 2.83 meter, and C also equals to what? 15.56 what? Meter. Take note how this was solved, because when we get our first value for B, we realize that even when we add it to the first angle given, which is A, we still see that we have value that is enough for C. And even when we subtract it from what? Subtract 180 from it, we still added to 40, it still gives us a value that C can equally what? Exist. Because sine is positive both in the first and in the second what? Quadrant. So take note of a question of this kind. So I think we are going to end here in our sine rule, and if we meet again, we'll be treating cosine rule, and after which we'll be treating what is it called? Bearing and what? Distance. Thank you for your comments. God bless you, and do well to continue to share. We love you. Welcome back, everyone. Today we'll be looking at trigonometry 2, which is cosine rule. We've already started this topic, and remember our aim is to treat bearing and distance. But in our previous classes, we've done the quadrants, first, second, third, and fourth quadrants, and the relationship between the three functions, sine, cosine, and what? Tangent. And we've also done the use of the Pythagoras theorem, which has to do with a right angle or triangle. And we've done sine rule, which is also trigonometry 1. And we've solved questions relating to sine rule. But today we are going to be doing cosine rule, because our aim is to treat bearing and distance, like I said earlier. So how do we use this cosine rule? But before we do that, before we go into questions, I want to give a short proof, which will do everything possible for you to understand. Let's assume we have this. Let's assume we are given a triangle of this kind, this A, and this happens to be, let me say, C, and this B, and this is an acute angled triangle, meaning all the angles inside are what? Less than 90 degrees. How do we prove that this angle, we can get something like, let me say, C squared equals to A squared plus B squared minus 2AB, 2AB because capital letter what? C, because what, this is one of the rules for sine. We can also have it as A squared equals to B squared plus C squared minus 2BC because capital letter what? A. But let's focus on the top and see how we can prove it. So we're given this triangle. This was given. Now let's redraw the triangle and put some salient points. So this is my A, this is my B, and this is my C. This becomes small letter C, small letter A, and small letter B. Let me put the B down. So let's bring a perpendicular from B. If I bring a perpendicular, that simply means this should be a right angle, and this equally should be a what? A right what? Angle. And let the line where B meets AB, meets AC rather, be what? D. And let me say, let B be the height, which will be equal to what? H. So I can have from triangle ABD, this triangle here, C, H, A, D, B. And let me take AD as X and DC and what? As what? Y. So this become what? X. So from triangle ABD, we can see that C square, my marker. We can see that C square is equals to H square plus X square. You can take this as equation 1. And also from search for a better marker, please. And also from triangle BCD, which is this, This A, this is H, this is what? Y. B, C, and D. From this triangle here, we can see that A squared this time is equals to what? H squared plus Y squared, because our A is the hypotenuse in this case. Here C was the hypotenuse. So we have this, and we can make H. Let me make H sort of formula here to have H squared to be equals to, if H squared is positive, then this becomes C squared, and this will move to the other side minus what? S squared. So this becomes my equation 1. Let me write it bold, please. C squared equal to S squared plus H squared, because this is the hypotenuse side, so it must equal the square of the adjacent and the opposite side. And making H sort of a formula, I have H squared, assume H is here. I'll have what? C squared, and S will move over to become minus S whole squared. This becomes equation 1. And I've gotten A as my square, which is the right, where the right angle is facing the hypotenuse side, is equal to H squared plus what? Y squared. And these are gotten by what? Pythagoras theorem, remember. Pythagoras theorem. Also what? Pythagoras. Now, I want to make H squared sort of formula also. H is already positive. So I can say what? A squared is here. This will move to the other side. A squared minus what? Y whole squared. This becomes equation what? 2. Now, if you notice, A squared is common in the two equations. So therefore, I can simply what? Equate H squared to A squared and equate C squared minus S squared to A squared minus Y squared. So I simply have C squared minus S squared to be equals to what? A squared minus Y squared. Since A squared equal to what? H squared. Now, I can make C squared sort of formula, or I have C squared to be equal to A squared, this is positive, let it come first, plus S squared minus Y squared. Let me take this as equation what? 3. But if I look in from triangle ABC, which is a complete triangle, you can see that X plus Y is equal to B, because AD plus DC is equal to what? B. So I have S plus Y to be equals to what? B. And I can make my S sort of formula to give me X equal B minus what? Y. I can take this as equation what? 4. If this is my equation 4, I can therefore substitute, SUB substitute please, B minus Y in brackets for X into what? 3. So I'm putting B minus Y for X into 3. So if I'm putting it into 3, I have C squared equals to what? C squared equals to A squared plus the value of X, which is B minus Y. B minus Y, close bracket, square, minus what? Y squared. So to save my space, let me expand this. This is B minus Y square, which is equals to B minus Y in bracket B minus Y. B times B is B squared. B times minus Y is minus BY. Minus Y times B will give me minus BY. Minus minus is plus. Y times Y is what? Y squared. So I have B squared minus BY minus BY will give me minus 2BY plus what? Y squared. So I'll put this in place of B minus Y squared. So I have C squared. Since here is positive, I'll just put it the way it is. But if it was negative, all these signs will change. Take note. So I have A squared plus B squared minus 2BY plus Y squared minus Y squared, which I have here. So this is the expansion for this. Remember, so I can wipe this. So I have C squared to be equals to plus y square minus y square, we cancel out to give me what? 0. So I therefore have a square plus b square minus 2by. Now, we're almost getting it. If you see, we have c square, a square, b square minus 2by. But we have a here, ab cos what? C. So what do we do next? Because they are not exact yet. So let's focus on this as C. So let's say from triangle BCD, and I like drawing my diagram because it gives a better picture of what we are doing. BCD, this is Y, and this is H, and this is what? A, and this is my angle. We can see that cos of C, cos is what? I'm using this angle, so this is my hypotenuse. This angle make here to be what? Opposites. And this become what? Y become adjacent. If you've been following our previous classes, you will understand what we are doing here. So cos C is what? Adjacent over hypotenuse, which is Y over what? A. If I cross multiply, I will have what? A, I will have Y to be equals to A cos capital letter what? C. I can take this as my equation. Let this be equation 4 and let this be equation 5. So we can say substitute in brackets A cos C for what? Y into 4. So if we are doing that, where is my duster? If we are doing that, it's no longer useful. So if we are doing that, we simply have C square to be equals to A square plus B square minus 2B. In place of Y, I'm putting A cos C. So I have bracket A cos capital C. Let me use a square bracket so that it won't confuse anybody. So I therefore have C square equals to small letter c, please. C square equal A square plus B square minus 2B. B times A is same thing as AB. So let A come first. AB cos capital letter what? C. And with this, our rule has been what? Proved. Also, with this, we can also get the two orders, which are A square equals to what? B square plus C square minus 2BC cos capital letter what? A. Remember, the side here follows the angle that we are going to have here. And also, we've proved that of C and we've done what? A. So let's do that of B. So also we have B square equals to what? A square plus C square minus 2AC cos capital letter what? B. Repeating this process from the very beginning will give you what? This other two. And from this main expression, I can get my cos C. How do I do that? I simply do that by making my cos C the subject of formula. You can see that this is what? These are combined what? Values. Because they are combined by what? Multiplication sign. This is 2 times A times B times cos what? C. Cos C must go together as 1. So if I want it to be positive, I'll bring my negative to the other side. Then this become 2. This become 2AB cos capital letter C. This have moved to the other side, so this must come here. A square remain here, B square remain here, and plus C cos become minus C what? Square. Now I'm looking for cos C. I can simply therefore divide through. I can simply divide through by what? 2AB. If I divide through by 2AB, because I'm looking for cos C, or have cos capital letter C all over what? 2AB to be equals to what? A square plus B square minus what? C square all over 2AB. And if I want C to stand alone, which is not common in some textbook, or have capital letter C to be equals to cos inverse in brackets a square plus b square minus c square all over what 2ab. And we have this. And in the same way for those other angles, we can also have angle what b to be equals to cos inverse of, since b is here, you simply have what a square plus c square minus, you subtract that of the smaller angle, b square all over 2 times this 2 without the square, 2ac. And that for the third, remember we are done with our proof. And that of the third, using this as our case study, will give us cos A, which is angle A, to be equals to what? Cos inverse of open bracket. Since we have capital letter C here, we must have minus small letter c square. So we have a square plus b square minus c square all over 2a what? B. So this capital C, capital B, and capital letter what? This A rather. I did see a second. So this should be A. And if that's A, I will have here as B square plus what? C square minus what? A square all over 2BC. And these are the three what? Expressions. B square plus C square minus C square over 2BC. Yeah. So this angle C, angle B, and angle A, these three formulas are used to get your angles when the three sides of a triangle are what's known. And when a side is known, let me say I know the two sides and the included angle, I will simply use what? C square. Included angle meaning I have something like this. This my A, this my B, this my C. You know, this must be my side B. So side B is given, let me say 3. Side, what is it called? Which other side? I've gotten my B. Side A is also given, which is, let me say 4. Now, okay, let me say 5. Now, the included angle was also given, which is this capital C you are seeing here. Let me say 45 degree, just assumption. Okay, let me say 55 degree. We can use this formula, C square equals A square plus B square minus 2BC cos capital letter C to solve my side C here, if it's a question. And also take note that if we are to solve this, the sum of two angles like we did in sine rule will also be greater. The sum of two sides must be greater than the what? Third side. Any two sides, the sum of any two sides must be greater than the third side. And also the bigger angle we have, the bigger what? The bigger angle we have, the bigger side. And also, so two ways we can use cosine rule is first, when we have two sides and the included angle. The included angle is the angle formed by the two sides. And also, when we have three sides, we can get the three what? Angles. And sometimes we need a combination of sine and cosine rule to solve what? A triangle what? Problem, which basically is a what? Bearing problem. So this is what we can do for now. Let's do some other examples. Let's do examples to verify these are what? Sine rule. Thank you.